Did you know not all time zones are created equal? Welcome to our journey into the strange world of chronometry. We imagine time zones as neat one-hour slices, but reality is far messier, and much more interesting. Some countries have time zones shaped by politics, geography, and a dash of eccentricity, challenging our assumptions about what time really means. Today, we'll explore the world's temporal outliers, the half-hour holdouts, the quarter-hour rebels, and the nations that defy logic altogether. So grab your metaphorical passport, let's get started. Our first stop is Nepal, high in the Himalayas, where time is set to UTC plus 5 hours and 45 minutes. Nepal is one of only 3 places in the world with a 45-minute offset. Why? It's a blend of geography and national pride. Instead of following India's time zone, Nepal based its time on the meridian passing through the sacred mountain Gauri Sankar. This was a political statement. Nepal wanted to assert its independence from its giant neighbors. Before 1956, different regions in Nepal used different local times, but the government unified the country under this unique standard. Now, when it's noon in London, it's 5:45 p.m. in Kathmandu, a constant reminder of Nepal's distinct identity. The choice of Gauri Sankar as the reference point ties timekeeping to both geography and culture. Nepal's time zone is a daily declaration. We are not just between India and China, we are Nepal, and our time is our own. It's a small inconvenience for international business, but a powerful symbol for the nation. In a world rushing toward standardization, Nepal chose specificity. Their time zone is a testament to the idea that time is as much about culture as it is about clocks. It's a reminder that the most interesting places are often just a little off-center. In Nepal, that's exactly 45 minutes. Next, we travel to the Chatham Islands, a remote New Zealand territory in the South Pacific. The Chatham Islands run on Chatham Standard Time UTC plus 12 hours and 45 minutes. For most of the year, they're the first populated place on Earth to greet a new day. Their unique time zone is a result of their position just east of the international dateline and their connection to mainland New Zealand. Instead of a full-hour jump, the islands opted for a 45-minute offset to stay linked to New Zealand while reflecting their easterly position. When it's 9 a.m. in Auckland, it's 9:45 a.m. on the Chathams, a subtle but constant difference. This affects everything from business to TV schedules, reinforcing their unique identity. The 45-minute offset was officially adopted in 1957, a compromise between solar reality and national connection. During daylight saving, the islands moved to UTC plus 1345, always maintaining that quirky gap. The Chatham Islands time zone isn't about protest, it's about practicality and place. For the 600 residents, it's a daily reminder that they live on the edge of tomorrow. Even in the world's remotest corners, time is a carefully negotiated reality. Here, the day really does begin a little earlier. Now to India, a vast country with just one time zone. India Standard Time, UTC plus 5 hours and 30 minutes. Over 1.4 billion people live by this half-hour offset, a legacy of colonial administration and a symbol of national unity. Before 1906, India had 2 official times, but the British unified the country's clocks for efficiency. The chosen meridian, 82.5 degrees east, splits the country nearly in half, making IST a geographical compromise. After independence, India kept this single time zone to foster unity and a shared identity. But with the country spanning nearly 2 hours of solar time, the sun rises and sets much earlier in the east than in the west. In Arunachal Pradesh, the sun can rise before 5 a.m., but offices open at 10. Calls for a second time zone persist, especially in the northeast, but the government resists, fearing it could fuel separatism. So India's half-hour offset remains a symbol of unity but also a source of daily inconvenience. It's a reminder of the challenges of governing such a diverse nation. The Great Indian Half-Hour is more than a quirk. It's a reflection of history and ongoing debates about unity and autonomy. In India, time is both a compromise and a statement, and every day over 1 billion people live by it. Now to Newfoundland and Labrador, the easternmost edge of North America and proud home to Newfoundland Standard Time, UTC minus 3:30. This half-hour offset sets Newfoundland 30 minutes ahead of its Canadian neighbors. Before joining Canada in 1949, Newfoundland was a self-governing dominion with its own time zone, chosen for geographic accuracy. St. John's sits almost exactly between UTC minus 3 and minus 4, so the province split the difference. When Newfoundland joined Canada, keeping its unique time was non-negotiable. a way to preserve its identity. Today, the Newfie half-hour is a national quirk, often referenced in news broadcasts and jokes. Daylight saving time brings Newfoundland to UTC -2:30, always maintaining that half-hour lead. The time zone is a cherished part of local culture and a symbol of independence. It's a reminder that even in a standardized world, local identity can shape the clock. For Newfoundlanders, time is more than numbers, it's heritage. Their unique beat is broadcast across Canada, a gentle assertion of difference. Newfoundland's time zone proves that history and pride can be measured in minutes. Here, time is a point of pride. Down under, along Western Australia's Air Highway, lies a time zone you won't find on most maps. Australian Central Western Standard Time, UTC plus 8:45. This unofficial zone covers a 340-kilometer stretch, home to just 200 people. Why the odd offset? It's pure pragmatism. The region sits between two states with a 90-minute time difference, so locals split the difference for convenience. No government decree, just a grassroots solution. Roadhouses post signs, set your watch forward 45 minutes. And everyone does. ACWST isn't recognized by the government, but it's honored by travelers, transport companies, and mapping services. It's a rare example of a time zone created by consensus, not law. The existence of ACWST highlights the vastness of Australia and the need for flexible systems. While Perth is thousands of kilometers away, the Nullarbors people made time work for them. It's a testament to independence and practicality. ACWST may not appear on your phone, but it's real for those who live and travel there. Sometimes the best systems are the ones people create for themselves. Off the Australian coast lies Lord Howe Island, a tiny paradise with a time zone as unique as its ecosystem. For most of the year, Lord Howe Island Standard Time is UTC plus 10:30, a half hour ahead of the mainland. The offset aligns clock noon with solar noon, tailored to the island's location. But the real twist comes with daylight saving. Instead of jumping a full hour, the island shifts forward by just 30 minutes. In summer, Lord Howe syncs perfectly with Sydney and Melbourne at UTC plus 11. This rare half-hour daylight saving was a compromise, enough extra daylight for residents and tourists, without disrupting daily life. For half the year, islanders do the half-hour math with the mainland, for the other half, they're in sync. The system reflects the island's desire for both independence and connection. Lord Howe's timekeeping is hyper-local, designed for a community of just 380 people. It prioritizes lifestyle over global standards. Here, time is flexible, shaped by the needs of the islanders. Lord Howe Island proves you can bend time to fit your world, even if it's just by half an hour. Sometimes the best time zone is the one that fits your life. Finally, we visit China, a country spanning 5 geographical time zones, but running on just one, Beijing Standard Time UTC plus 8. Before 1949, China had 5 time zones, but the communist government unified the country under a single clock to symbolize national unity. This creates surreal situations in the West where solar noon can be as late as 3 p.m. and the sun sets near midnight in summer. In Xinjiang, locals often use an unofficial Xinjiang time, 2 hours behind Beijing, for daily life, while official business sticks to Beijing time. This dual-time reality means people juggle 2 clocks, one for the state, one for the sun. China's single time zone is a powerful tool of state control but also a source of daily complexity and cultural tension. It erases regional differences on paper but not in practice. The story of China's time zone is a reminder time is as much about politics as it is about physics. The lines on a time zone map are, above all, political lines. In China, time is unity and a daily negotiation. From Nepal's 45-minute declaration to China's single-time experiment, its clear timekeeping is anything but standard. These odd time zones are living stories of history, politics, and identity. They show that time is a human construct, full of compromise and pride. Time isn't just what the clock says, it's who we are. Which time zone surprised you most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating facts.